3.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Empathetic Wanderers. Happy New Year. I just wanted to start out with an intro video to give you a little bit of an idea of what's on this channel, you know, what Empathetic Wanderers means, and kind of a little bit of background on me and where I grew up and the like. So, background on me. My name is Jeff. I grew up in California in the United States and traveled quite often. Traveling was always something that I was super interested in, and languages pretty quickly became a pretty big part of my life. I grew up learning Spanish and just really loved the way that I was able to connect with people in a foreign language. So that became something that I really wanted to focus on in the future, and I just really enjoyed getting to be able to travel around the world. And so I went to college in California, and then shortly after I graduated, I decided to move to China. I had never been to Asia before, and I definitely wanted to learn a new language, and I wanted to go somewhere really different. And so I ended up deciding Asia would be the right continent, and eventually chose China as the place to be. So as I got to China, I first went to Japan for a couple of weeks, fell in love with Japan, and then moved on to China a couple of weeks later and was there for a couple of years teaching English. I really fell in love with Asia and was able to travel a lot, and so have always thought in the back of my mind, I'd love to go back and live there again. If not China, Japan and Korea, or just move around a lot. I had always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but frankly was a bit too scared to do it, if I'm being totally honest. Doing this as a career is scary and not super certain, and I am, as I'm sure it's quite obvious, a beginner with videography, so bear with me. I am still learning, but I'm really enjoying it. My dad is a photographer, and so I grew up around photography and art, and so this is something that I had always wanted to do, but I was always a little bit too nervous to do. So I decided I would bite the bullet after moving back to the United States from 2015 until now, that I'm just gonna go back to Asia, start this YouTube channel, and really just try and spread some positivity. There's so much negativity going on in the world right now, and I wouldn't be so bold as to say that I can combat all of it, but I did think when I travel, I often experience such positivity, be it through the people that I'm meeting or the foods that I'm having or just the places that I'm getting to see, and I just would love to show one person or a bunch of people, as many as want to watch these places and things that I'm doing. So that's kind of where I'm at. This channel will be probably mostly focused on Asia, at least in the beginning, just because I'm heading out to Asia. The beginning of the channel, the content in the beginning will be regarding Japan for the first few videos, and then I am actually heading to South Korea today, and so I will be there for a couple months. So the content will be, you know, Seoul and Busan and maybe some other cities in South Korea. So, and then moving forward after that, we'll see, but probably will be focused around Asia. But that doesn't mean that there won't be some content from California when I go home to see family and or other places. You know, I love Kauai, I love going on hikes in Hawaii, I love you know, the people and the food and the pace of life and the beaches. I love the architecture of Mexico City, the food of Mexico City, the people. So all of these places could show up, but it will likely, at least in the beginning, be focused on Asia. So the next thing would be, where does this name Empathetic Wanderers come from? For me personally, I wanted the channel name to be something that was that defined my experience traveling. what was it about my experience traveling that made it such a positive thing that I hope everyone can do? And so the first thing was just being floored by the level of openness and love that I experience when I travel abroad. The way that people open their homes and their hearts and show me their food and teach me their languages and teach me new things and are just generally patient with me. And so for me, that always has translated into just what, you know, we would call empathy, right? Just being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes for just a minute. And so it was pretty obvious that needed to be a part of the name. The second part, Wanderers, for me personally, as I've traveled, obviously I always have a list of things that I want to do when I go to a place. You know, I have the places I want to see, the foods I want to eat, and they're like pretty typical. But my greatest experiences that I have when I'm abroad often are when I'm not doing those things. It's when I walk out on my own with just my camera and no plan, and I just wander into a restaurant. I just wander up to, you know, this site or that site, or I wander into a museum. And so for me, the act of wandering, being able to be open about where you're going and what you're going to see, and not being bound to these ideas of what you're supposed to see, was kind of what made most sense for the second part of the name. So together, I just made that Empathetic Wanderers. And I hope you enjoy the content that I'm creating. If you like Asia, if you like travel vlogs, if you like culture, if you like learning languages, those are all the things that I'm going to be doing, and it'll be what most of the videos are about. So if that's something that interests you, and you can bear me learning videography as I do, I really hope you'll join me on this journey. I really appreciate any comments or any feedback that I can get, because I am so new to this, and I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's, and looking forward to starting out 2019 wonderfully, and let's just keep wandering and keep seeing the world and spreading empathy and positivity and being kind.